Um, so because you have a video, it's gonna be a little bit different. We're gonna go through the interview,
Hmm.
and I'm gonna let you know when we're gonna put the when we're gonna put the music video in. We're gonna section the video, post it, and then we'll come back 5 minutes later, however however long the video is. It's
Yeah.
pretty long. It's longer than I thought it was gonna be.
Yeah, I write long songs. I'm a pretty progressive musician when it comes into that regard. Listen to a lot of Opeth. I like 10-minute long songs.
Right. Let's talk about Freebird on crack over
Yeah, right.
there.
Extreme metal crack.
Yeah, I could not figure out how to actually describe that. So
Yeah,
I was
yeah,
listening to it. I was like, it's a little harder than metal, but it's not quite slash metal. It's not quite just screamo.
yeah.
I don't know if you remember that from way back in the
Oh
day.
yeah, I remember this. I remember that.
Oh man, back before Flyleaf became popular. I'm an old head. I'm sorry.
I am too. I don't look like it, but
I
I'm 37 in a month, so
got all this going for me.
yeah, same.
Just turned, how old am I? 43, 42? I'm not sure. Somewhere in
Yeah, you
there.
stop lose you stop keeping track after like 32. You're like, this
Oh,
sucks. Fuck it.
bro, when I had kids, that's when the end of it. That's when I turned gray immediately. I could no longer deny it.
Yeah, that'll do it too.
I was looking at pictures when my wife and I first got together, and I was like small, and all my hair was brown, and my face didn't soak in, and then like immediately, 150 pounds up, kids, stressed, like wrinkles all up in my forehead, all this gray just popped in, and so it was always fun. All right, so let's get this going officially.
All right.
So, I am sitting with Kevin Corr, Fossegrim Records, three other bands that he will tell us about in a little bit. And we are doing an artist spotlight, I guess, on the person behind the records because you're part of each of these bands individually as well as standing up for your own record label, right?
Well, except for the one band, I'm not a part of Cranium and Glitch.
Oh,
That's my buddy Will all on his own.
okay, those are just your homies.
Yeah.
Do you produce
It's
them?
just one. It's just one. I do the mastering.
Mm-hmm.
He does the mixing. He gets it to where he likes it to be, as far as vocal and guitar and all the instruments, and then sends it off to me. I put the polish on it, and then we put it out there.
Nice, nice. So, tell me, where are you from?
Jersey, unfortunately. Uh, I mean, it's not horrible, but it's Jersey, so
Did y'all get
it
snow
is what
today?
it is. Snow, no.
It started snowing here. I'm in Alabama.
Oh
Like,
wow.
it cooled off overnight to like 50, 53 degrees, which is horribly cold for us.
Right.
But like it started raining, but it wasn't raining hard enough to actually be rain. So it started coming down in snowflakes and it was awful. And we all hate it here because, I mean, you're in
Yeah.
Jersey. You're supposed to get snow in like, you know, April, August, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. You guys are not.
We get snow every 4 years up until recently, and now it's just kind of aggravating.
Yeah, well, I mean, even the weather here has been kind of haywire. The last couple of years have been really weird.
Yeah. So tell me about Jersey. What's Jersey about?
Oh man, it's like it's it's not horrible. I mean, it's close to Philly, so that's kind of cool. At least where I'm at in Jersey, anyway.
Mm-hmm.
Um, it's quiet town for where I'm at. But other than that, I mean, there's areas that are nice, there's areas that are beautiful, and then there's areas that are trash. It's just like anywhere else, honestly. I've been here for about 22 years now.
Nice.
So, I mean, I can't complain too much.
Have you met the situation yet?
No, no. I have not. Luckily, I have not. That's a
Oh,
little further south than me.
oh, okay. There are a lot of big artists coming from Jersey recently, especially in the hip hop world that I'm from. So like when somebody's like, "Yeah, metal, Jersey," it's like, "Huh? Okay, that's cool. I
Yeah.
dig it." All right. What got you into music?
You know, I don't really exactly know how to answer this directly. It was just kind of one of those things I stumbled upon when I was 7, walking down the street with my mom, and we passed a music store. It was Jacob's Music, pianos and whatnot,
Nice.
and something drew me to it, and we walked in there, and I sat down and I started playing something that was on the radio, and I never played or touched anything before in my life, and they were like, we're not just trying to sell you something here, but you should probably, buy him something because I've never seen anyone do that shit. And it just kind of started from there
Oh yeah.
and branched off into other stuff, how it is. You get curious, you want to explore other instruments and not just kind of box yourself into one thing.
So you started with the piano.
Yeah, that was my first one.
How long did you
Um,
play?
well, I still play. I mean, that point, how long did I focus on it directly? Probably like 6 months to a year before I branched off to what did I go to next? I messed around with flute. That got boring. I went to clarinet. I did that for about I want to say a year.
Middle
Um,
grade, middle school band.
church
Hmm.
stuff, because I went to Catholic middle school, but yeah, did that for a year, and then again, just kind of was like, I got bored, and then I kind of started smoking, so that was kind of the end of that. Um, did violin for a little bit. That was fun. That
Oh
was
yeah.
what kind of got me into stringed instruments. Because I
I
went
never pictured you as gonna be a classical instrument kind of kid.
no,
Never.
yeah,
I was like, yeah, that guy. He's a flautist. Never would have pictured that one.
yeah, well, I mean, I didn't really touch on it too long. I mean, if you asked me to play now, I'd make everybody run with their ears bleeding.
I mean,
But
Terry Crews can do it. You can do it too.
yeah, this is true. Anybody can really do anything as long as you put your mind to it.
That's right.
But I did go to violin after that, and then that was what led me to guitar. And believe it or not, so I grew up when I was that age. We were in Philly. We weren't here yet.
Mm-hmm.
So with the way the arts are there, that actually was a big area for classically influenced instruments.
Yeah, the
So
Philharmonic's huge.
like one of my best friends, his dad was a classical guitarist. He was a guitarist. That was what kind of branched me from violin over to that. And we just started playing and jamming together, and then it just went from there. And kind of just started writing stuff around that age, and it was just like a hobby at the time. I never really thought I would be doing the stuff I'm doing now if you asked me when I was 13, but
Oh
it was always a dream to produce and publish and record stuff.
yeah.
Just didn't know how or if at that point.
Well, see, that's kind of so. It's a very similar vein for me. I started playing the piano when I was 6 or 7. We went to a piano store. My dad's mom was a piano teacher when she was up north, and so like we went in. I played "Lean on Me," and do 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 do. Just
Yeah,
straight from ear. That got me on the Suzuki method. Learn how to play by ear. You hear a song, you play it, you keep doing it over and over and over again, so you learn how to play. And then I got into jazz piano, and I
oh,
didn't
nice.
really get into stringed instruments until I was in college. Picked up the bass when I was 17, picked up the acoustic guitar when I was like 20, 21. I got a bunch of them sitting back there. It's not a real good image here, but you'll see it in the video because they're like right there. And then I
Out
just
in the corner, yeah, I've seen
yeah,
them
yeah.
before on your videos. Yeah, I know what you're
They
talking about.
they're very clean. They're well taken care of. I send them in for setups like every 6 months or so. I play them once I get them set up, and then hang them back and keep it moving.
Yeah, I mean, I've had spurts like that where you get caught up with work and
Oh
stuff, and
yeah,
then it is what it is. Busy season when I was a mechanic and stuff, and I would just come home and I'm beat. I'm not doing nothing.
I did that for 10 years until I had a back surgery at 29. Herniated 3 discs in my back.
Oof,
Caught a
damn.
tire off a fourth level shelf. Hit me in my shoulder. Immediately destroyed disc in my back. Spent a year down. Came back immediately fired. Who would have thought, right?
Yeah, well, I had a similar experience with that. My neck ended up being bad this past year, and it created another injury that I suffered the year before that. And then I went to go back. Um, I made it maybe 6 months.
Yep.
Started feeling all these problems, so I went back to like four orthopedics because I'm like, it's my arm, but it's not my arm, and then it's my back, but it's not my back. It feels like it's higher than that.
Hmm.
Ended up going to an neck specialist, and they're like, "Yeah, if you don't stop now, you're not going to walk in 10 years." And I'm like, "All right,
Yeah.
got it.
Yeah.
I am done."
I've I'm always been a proponent of family life first, work life balance. Always take care of you and yours first, because don't nobody care about you the minute you no longer make them money.
Yep, you ain't wrong.
And like when I went into it myself, I talked to a lawyer. They lied on my workers' comp paperwork. I couldn't get all that squared away. They tried to backdate my insurance so my insurance wouldn't pay for my surgeries and stuff.
Oh wow,
Yeah, my short term disability, all of that got canceled when I was gone. It was a whole thing. I spent a year without any sort of money coming in, just laid on my back. We um we had some really bad tornadoes and all the power was off for like the whole state for like 2 weeks,
oh
and
wow.
I had to actually reschedule my surgery for like 3 months later because there were so many people that need to have urgent procedures done that weren't able to get them done because all the power was out.
That's
That
crazy.
was, I want to say, 2011. If you look up the 2011 tornadoes in Alabama, it was a swath of 140 some odd tornadoes that went through, just destroyed the whole top of the state.
I feel like I kind of remember that.
Yeah, it was crazy. It was actually when I
Yeah, that
first met
sounds
my
like it.
wife because she took me to the store to get cigarettes when I couldn't drive myself because my
Yeah,
because like I had my disc compression where they herniated was compressing my spine and it was causing sciatic nerve pain.
right.
My leg would go numb and I couldn't feel it. I couldn't move it. Anything that I moved back and all of a sudden it would be restored. And it was really sketchy for a really long time. So she was my neighbor at the time. She used to drive me to the store to get cigarettes because I couldn't do it myself. So things happen for a reason, right? Right?
Yeah, I guess that's a pretty interesting way to meet your spouse.
Yeah. She lived across the her grandpa lived across the hall from my mom's, and they were both older and retired, and they just sat in the breezeway and talked shit about us the whole time, and that's how we got to know each other.
Huh?
Cause like my mom's didn't want me talking to her, and her grandpa didn't want me talking to me, so we talked to each other just to spite them.
Gotcha.
So but
Always fun.
always fun. All right, what are your musical influences?
If I had to pick, I'd say 3 to 5 off the top of my head. Opeth is definitely a huge one. In Morning, Insomnium, a little beyond creation.
Mm-hmm.
It's more on the bass side. And probably soil work.
Okay, that's a very unique blend of bands.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. I am a very unique person.
I was like,
Especially
surprisingly,
the
surprisingly.
direction some of them gone nowadays, later in their career, the complete 180s for them.
I mean, like usually you hear like Tool, you hear Megadeth, you hear Metallica, you hear a lot of like Flyleaf or Trent Reznor, all these bands that kind of started that trend with angry metal. Is that I guess you could call that
No, I
whole
guess.
series angry metal, and then the screamo death metal, the whole. I guess they're like doomcore or metalcore now, where it's kind of a bass in that, but a section off with a little bit more intricate work.
Yeah, it's like technical
Right.
gent.
It's not just chugging and screaming, right?
Yeah, yeah,
That was way early 2000s.
yeah. That was some good stuff though. Those are good times, great times for music.
Oh yeah. All right. What do you do for fun? That's
This.
not a loaded question.
That's basically what it is. I do this. I work. I come home. I sit here. I make music, and that's basically all my life is.
Hell yeah. All right. Tell me about the most recent concert you attended. Not you played, but attended.
Most recent one would have been I was in Philly at Johnny Brenda's, and I saw this band from New York called Castrator.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I don't remember some of the other bands that were there.
Is that a Western country band?
No, they are like
Sorry, I couldn't resist
basically
that one.
they're basically traditional death metal.
Okay.
Um, like early 2000s, late 90s style traditional death metal.
Okay.
Some other influences in there, of course, as well. But
All right. So, if you could perform anywhere in the world, where would it be?
there was a venue that used to be in Philly that is no longer existent. It was called the Trocadero. Um, that would have to be the place. Second would be I don't know what it's called now, but it was called the Electric Factory.
Mm-hmm.
I would use that as a second, being as the other place doesn't exist anymore. But the Troc would be number one place I would like to have played.
So you'd want to keep it local? No, no LA amphitheaters. No, I mean I wouldn't mind playing at the Sydney amphitheater. Just
See, it's hard because for what I do, I'm by myself
mm-hmm.
for a majority of it. I mean, I have another singer now for the Eternal Forlorn project, and I have my buddy helping me with electronics a little bit in Nocturnal Terror. But for the most part, how much space, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, yeah,
how much space do I need
yeah, yeah. I
to
get
go
it.
up there with a guitar and a microphone and, you know what I mean? And use a bunch of backtracks to fill in the space. Now, if I had the funding and I could actually pay people to play the instrumentalization for the rest of it, then yeah,
Well, yeah.
absolutely. I mean,
This is a
bigger place for
hypothetical.
that.
This is you have a band, you have a front line, you have
Gotcha.
everything in place. You got pyrotechnics, the whole thing.
What's that place called in England? And I feel like a asshole for not remembering this.
I want to play Sat Pon Big Ben, the bell.
Uh, what was it called? Devin Townsend did a concert there, and it was like one of his biggest concerts for that project. Hold on, I gotta look this up because this is gonna. It's
it's
Robert something, if
it's
I'm
gonna
not
haunt you for the rest
mistaken.
of the night.
Yeah, it definitely will.
I'm sorry, I can't look up anything. I got all of my devices tied up with recording.
Where
It's like, do I need some information? Nope, I don't need it. I can't get it. Doesn't matter.
is this? I don't know. I can't find it now because
The Greek Colosseum. Like to play the Leaning Tower of Pisa. Actually, that'd be pretty dope. Everybody does
what?
this on the video.
Yeah, the Tower of Pizza. That would be cool. Pizza. I said pizza, so you can tell I'm
It's
hungry.
fine. I'm sorry for keeping you up late. I turned into a pumpkin
Oh
about
no,
9
you're
o'clock.
fine. I'm good. I'm usually up till about 3:30 recording, doing stuff anyway. Cause
Way
like
too
my
old for
work
that.
schedule is like 10 to 10.
Wow.
So I'll get home and then I'm like, all right, I just gotta wait a couple hours for, the house to go to sleep. And then midnight starts, I start going. I get as much as I can done at like 3, 4 hours, and then I can at least sleep for 5.
I did 7 to 7 when I was a mechanic, so I couldn't
Yeah,
imagine being up that late.
I did. I used to do that too. Well, the place I worked at, we were like 7 to 9, so it was like that kind of conditioned me a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I can't
It's fine.
find. Yeah, it'll bother me later, and then I'll think of it at
I'll
2 in
put
the
a little
morning.
subtitle on the video when we figure out what it is. I'll go back and just be like, boop. He couldn't think of this, so it's cool. All right, so you are a first with the artist spotlight series. You sent me a music video instead of an actual soundtrack. So I'm gonna ask you these questions. You answer them, and then I'm just gonna bloop, plop it in, and then we'll keep it trucking.
All right.
So, tell me about your track. What inspired you to write it? What does the song mean to you? And how does it make you feel when you hear it?
All right. So when this one came about, it was basically right when I had my arm injury. I had torn a decent amount of muscles and tendons and whatnot. I was sidelined for a good 8 months. Um, and it was just like that feeling of, all right, now I'm fucked. And I'm fucked because I had to bust my ass for whatever I had to bust my ass for, getting no sleep, this and that, putting all these hours in and not taking care of myself enough when I should have found the balance. So to me, it was like that whole life pushing you around and kind of feeding you shit, and you're just scathed by it all as it comes to you, like in a sense of just lashing after lashing,
Mm-hmm.
all because you're exposed to this world on a daily basis. And it was kind of like that internal pushback for that,
I feel
you
you.
know. Um, some of the lyrics, if you listen to it, it just explains how, you get your mind state and you're good, you get your confidence up, you're ready to go through the day and conquer everything. And then you get out there, and then there's just people and situations that just want to take all your light from you and just fill you up with all this negativity and kind of bring you down, keep you limited.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Um, and, that was my backlash at that.
Awesome. Well, I'm going to play your track, and we'll be back in a second. Awesome. So, do you have any current projects you want to tell everybody about?
Oh God, there's so many. I am working on a new album for Eternal Forlorn called Rebirth. That's where that song that came from.
Mm-hmm.
I had a couple other singles out for that, but still doing some writing. So that I don't know when that's going to be done.
Okay.
Winter time for sure. It might be December, it might be January, but
Awesome.
that's rolling along. I do have like a bunch of collaborations going on right now, with some interesting, um, selections in that. One being Storm Kingdom. Um, he asked me to do vocals on one of his tracks when he saw one of my vocal cover
Yeah,
videos.
yeah, I saw that. I saw that
Um,
video. I,
so we
I felt like you were really, really nervous when you did that video.
Which one? The Opeth one?
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, that was my first time actually singing in front of people that could visibly see me and not just hear me in
Yeah,
30
yeah.
years. So
I
I
mean,
was
like, I
just
was watching
like,
it and I was
oh man.
like, he's got this. And then you just took that one step right there outside of your comfort zone. And then you could see it on your face that you're just like, I didn't quite get that note. I don't know what I'm doing for the rest of my life. You know what I'm
Uh,
saying? And then
yeah,
you finish up the song and you finish solid, but you could see it on your face. And I was watching because I experienced that so internally because I know how that feels.
yeah, that as soon as I hit it, I'm like, oh, I'm like the rest of this was gold. That fucking sucks so bad. And it sucks because I'm a perfectionist.
Yeah, yeah.
So,
Most musicians are 100%.
but But yeah, so that landed me that collaboration with Storm Kingdom that I'm working on now. I was just sick. My voice is getting a little better, so
That's dope.
I'm gonna be recording that soon. I'm doing another collaboration with Star Uni. I don't know if you know who she is. She does dubstep music and is just fucking amazing.
I think I've
And
heard the name. I don't think I've actually personally looked up her music, but I've heard the
gotcha.
name.
This is speaking of taking steps outside of my comfort zone, this time in genres, which I kind of tend to do too with the Nocturnal Terror thing. But with hers, it's a little different, and it's definitely going to be a challenge. Definitely fun.
Nice.
So looking forward to that. And then I have one more after my album comes out. I'm going to be starting probably in January, which is if you know who Steam Slicer is.
I'm not familiar with that one. I'll look them
Okay.
up, but I'm not familiar with
Um
them now.
he and I are going to be doing one that was prompted when I first joined the community back in the summer.
Okay.
Buddy ours, Z-Tep, was like, "Hey, you guys like your guys' sound, you should work on something together. And we were both like, oh yeah, that's cool. And we checked each other's music out. And we're like, oh yeah, that's cool. But we're both busy as shit. So we ended up, all right, we'll touch back on this later. And then, and, here we are at the end of the year now. And I'm like, all right, I feel like I'm a bit ready. His album's coming out on November 3rd. So
Yeah.
that's gonna be cool
So
working with him.
you said something about this earlier, and I need to find out what's up with the glasses. It's a tease about something, but are you willing to share it today, or we're just gonna run with it being a tease?
Well, I can't really speak on this yet.
If I tell you, I'd have to kill
I cannot. Yeah, basically, no.
you.
I'm not able to speak on this yet, but if you pay attention to my social media, y'all should be able to figure it out.
So you're
Uh,
doing a ZZ Top tribute band. Got it.
no, my beard's not quite that long
Don't
yet,
worry. Once
brother.
it gets down to here, you'll get it.
Yeah, give me another couple of years to let that grow.
Yeah.
But no, I can't go into too much detail. But if you do pay attention to my social media, you will be able to figure it out. If you know, kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
But what I can say about it is Thanksgiving's going to be a really fucking good day.
Hell yeah. All right. Any last shout outs to anybody you want to thank?
Oh man, it's rough. I don't want to name specific because I don't want to forget people and then feel like an asshole. Like there's so many people in this community that have just been so great to me since I got here. Because I wasn't really this confident when I first started
Mm-hmm.
this year. So that everybody that continues to support and share and just show love for each other, not just one way, like is fucking great.
Awesome. Well, that is everything I got for you today. It has been so awesome sitting here and talking with you. Thanks for sharing your music. Thanks for sharing your outlook on things. And
Yeah,
you have you a good evening.
you as well.
See you later.
I'll see you. It was great talking to you.